Hey, today let's learn about Ipswich Town, a club from the English Championship with a lot of fun details to learn about them as they make a push to return to the Premier League for the first time in just over 2 decades. The club were founded in 1878 and are nicknamed the Tractor Boys, which is a name they took on originally as a self-deprecating one after rival fans would poke fun at them from being from Suffolk, which is generally a farming region within the English countryside. Above you, yet again, another 2009 to 2011 era kit. This is their home color of blue, and they'll wear white shorts as well. Their badge has a lot of fun details within it we're going to talk about, but it's mainly centered on this horse at the middle here, specifically the breed Suffolk Punch, which is a short, hefty, but strong draft horse from the region. The horse has his hoof on a football, an old-style one, in the middle of the badge. You'll see the club's name, Ipswich Town, across the top of it, and above that, these castle-like turrets that sit there are those that come from a gate that is famously in front of an ancient church within the city. The club also will hold 3 stars above their badge for the 3 most iconic successes in the history of the club. There are pretty much 3 things that jersey providers from that turn of the decades there loved doing on their kits at the time. The first is having a collar on the jersey, as you can see here. The second is non-vertical or horizontal changes in color between that diagonal here from the white and the blue on the back of the collar. And the third thing being non-uniformity in colors. You can see this swoosh of white down one shoulder and not the same thickness down the other. Also seeing those white stripes down the side of the kit. Back to the 3 most important successes in the history of the club, those 3 stars above the badge that represent first, the 1962 First Division title. That was the old top flight within English football at the time, before the Premier League is now. This is their only ever top flight title within the country. They've also won the 2nd Division 3 times, the 3rd Division 2 times, and all the way down to the 7th tier in the 1930s, winning that 1 time. The 2nd star is for their FA Cup title in 1978. The only one in their history in that long-standing tournament. This one, an unlikely victory, 1-0 over Arsenal on a goal by Roger Osborne. And the 3rd star counts for their 1981 victory in the UEFA Cup, which is a very large achievement for a club of this size in this part of the world. And we're going to talk about their European prowess just here in a second. But first, let's talk rivalry, since they compete the biggest one in this region of England, the East Anglian derby with Norwich City. This one is a long-standing rivalry, one they haven't had a ton of success in since 2009, so they're going to want another crack at it at Carrow Road, the home of the Canaries, coming up here in April. This one, jokingly at times, takes on the nickname the Old Farm, basing off that farm community region here, a play off of the Old Firm from Glasgow's Celtic and Rangers rivalry. Back to their European prowess, this club is the only British side ever to never lose a match at home in European competition. They can put Barcelona, Inter Milan, AC Milan, Lazio, and Real Madrid on the list of victories at their home stadium, Portman Road. And a couple more key things to talk about. Their only ever top flight title in 1962 was won in their first ever top flight season. That was won under the management of the general himself, Sir Alf Ramsey, who would later go on to manage the English national team to their only ever World Cup victory in 1966. The South Stand at the stadium at Portman Road is named in his honor. Second would be their most successful era. That's 1978 to 1983. They won 3 titles during that era, that FA Cup and that UEFA Cup that they won over AZ Alkmaar from the Netherlands. They were under the management of Sir Bobby Robson, who the North Stand at the stadium is named after. So let's talk about the club's current situation, which is that they've languished in the Championship, the 2nd tier in English football, for about 2 decades now, including a little stint in the 3rd, League One for a time here. They just got promoted back up to the 2nd Division and are actually challenging for 2nd or 3rd place, in my opinion, going into the tail end stretch of the season. Promotion to the Premier League would be a lot of fun to see from the Tractor Boys. Let's take time for just 3 former players from the club. The first is going to be Ray Crawford. He was a striker for them in the 50s and 60s. He led them in their title charge in the 1st Division with 33 goals in 1962 on the way to becoming the first capped player for England to play for the town, and is their all-time leading goal scorer with 227. Second would be John Wark, a midfielder for the club during that finest era and well-renowned for his goal scoring and his mustache, as well as being a movie star, showing up in the movie Escape to Victory along with a lot of his teammates and Pele. And finally, another movie star from the same movie, Kevin Beattie. He was a center back for the club in the 70s into the early 80s, but was a bit injury prone, unfortunately. That shortened his career. He was kind of a progenitor of the current modern center back position in that he was quick and had a lot of ability as a ball-playing center back, not just booting and clearing the ball, but being great at passing forward and starting attacks. Join me over here for their current squad pushing for promotion. First name will be Nathan Broadhead, a winger for the club, former academy product from Everton, and he's already pushed over 10 goals from that position, which is a great haul this season. Second is Leif Davis, a player that's fantastic this season and their leader in assists at 14 at the time of this recording, and that's wild coming from the left back position. And finally, even with Connor Chaplin having a great season up front goal scoring for them, I do want to throw some respect on Sam Morsey. He's their captain, a great defensive midfielder, pretty aggressive doing all the dirty work in the middle of the pitch, but that does get him on the wrong side of the law many times. So there you go, your rundown and 101 knowledge on Ipswich Town, a fun team to watch in the Championship and hopefully next season in the Premier League.